Hello students, welcome to another live performance task session. So in this session, we are going to be exploring a performance task called the vegetable garden. In this performance task, we will be doing items that will help us to understand fractions a little more and also some number operation. So get your books, get your pencils, and let's get started. So before we get into this vegetable garden task, we all must have an idea of what a vegetable garden is. Now, this is an example of a vegetable garden. Have you ever seen a vegetable garden before, students? Have you ever helped to plant anything in a vegetable garden? Let me know in the chat. All right, so there are persons here saying that they know what a vegetable garden is. And also, I guess some of you would have, oh yes, so Ashana FI says she has planted stuff in a vegetable garden before. All right, so with this COVID and everything and, quarantining and being home most of the time, working from home and also having your schools online, we have a lot of time to start our vegetable garden. And so a little spot in my backyard I've identified and I decided to plant some peppers in it, some tomato, some different kind of vegetables, even some sorrel. All right, so this is another example of a vegetable garden. So this is when some things would have grown up and we're able to identify some different vegetables here. So this is another example of a vegetable garden. All right, so now that I realize that some of you know what a vegetable garden is, all right, so I'm seeing here in the chat where persons are putting some things that they normally plant in a vegetable garden. Let us get right into the task. So the fourth graders has a farming project to do. And they're to plant at least 8 different vegetables for their agricultural fair. Below is an outline of their vegetable garden. Now, before we get into the questions here, can you tell me what do you think an agricultural fair is? Share with me. Is there anyone here with me who would like to share if you know what a vegetable or what an agricultural fair is?
Miss, agricultural fair is a fair that where farmers will sell their ground provision and vegetables.
Okay, so they showcase their ground provisions and vegetables here in an agricultural fair. Awesome. Right, so an agricultural fair is where we would see lots of vegetables and lots of ground provisions, fruits as well being showcased, and people can buy them, buy fruits and their veggies and all those things at the fair. All right, so In the meantime, take a look at this vegetable garden and the different fruits or vegetables. In fact, take a look at the different vegetables that we have in this vegetable garden.
Good morning.
Hi, Damel. All right, so keep your mics closed. And if you want to respond to a question, you let me know. All right?
Yes, miss.
All right, so I'm seeing in the chat where Dana Paul is responding to what an agricultural fair is, and she said where they go and sell the vegetables when they are reaped. Great. All right, so can anyone tell me of the different vegetables that we have here on our vegetable garden?
Miss, we have sweet peppers, lettuce, cucumber, carrots, tomatoes, hot peppers, cabbage, and callaloo.
Definitely. So we have plenty vegetables in our vegetable garden. Awesome. All right. So now, so I want you guys now to take a screenshot of this, but I will also have it on other slides. But in the event that it's a little smaller there, you're able to see what vegetables we're planting. All right. So for our first question here, we have what fraction of the vegetable garden is tomatoes? What fraction of the vegetable garden is tomatoes? So take some time and work this out, and you can share what fraction is tomatoes. All right, so yes, guys, I see you here on YouTube telling me about pepper, carrots, tomatoes, callaloo. Awesome. So you are definitely in keeping with what we're talking about here. Those are some vegetables that we have in our vegetable garden. So what we're going to work on now is we're going to decide what fraction of the vegetable garden is planted with tomatoes. Okay, so I'm seeing Kaylee and Dante saying 8/8, but 8/8 would represent what? I see where Emeraldo saying 4/4. I'm seeing another person saying 8/8 and 4/4. But can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what 8/8 and 4/4 represent? Yes, Kalia?
Miss, 8/8 represents one whole, and then 4/8 represents half.
All right, awesome. So 8/8, which is 8/8, represents one whole. And it is the same with 4/4 as well. 4/4 also represents one whole. And as Kalea said that we have 4/8 is the same as a half. So I'm seeing some responses of 1/8 here in the chat on YouTube, and I'm seeing 1/8. All right, guys, so definitely those are wholes and halves, but what is 1/8? Is it really 1/8 of this vegetable farm representing tomatoes? Let us look at this vegetable farm closely. All right, remember to raise your hands here if you want to respond. Danica, Kalia, Damel, remember to raise your hands here. I'm unable to open the chat, so raise your hands and I will call on you. I'm seeing Zara Thompson saying 536 is tomatoes. And thank you for writing what you're responding to, Zara. So she's saying 5 out of 36 parts represents tomatoes. Now, she says 36 parts. I want to know if we all agree with that. How did you get 36 parts? How did you get 36 for your denominator? How many equal parts do you think this vegetable garden is really divided into? Can anyone share that? What do you think our denominator would really be? Yes, Kalia?
Our denominator would be 8 because there are 8 different vegetables in the garden at the fair.
All right, so I'm hearing Kalia saying there are 8 different vegetables. I'm seeing persons here on YouTube saying there are 8. I see Michaela, Lilith. I'm seeing a lot of persons here saying 8. But let us look at this. Let us look at this. All right, Damel, before I speak.
Yes, miss.
You have your hands raised.
Oh, yes, miss. The denominator would be 8 because there are 8 vegetables in the garden, miss.
All right, so thank you so much for that. So you guys are saying there are 8 vegetables in the garden. On YouTube here, I'm seeing Shana F.I. saying 36. I'm seeing Shara James saying 42. And we're going to address that in a little bit. All right, Jamari?
Miss, I was going to say that there are 8 different sections in the vegetable garden, so that's why I would have the denominator as 8
All
in the first.
right. All right, so thank you for that. Now let us look at this. We're saying there are 8 different vegetables, but did you notice, students, that we have 8 different vegetables, however, they take up different size of the vegetable garden? And if it is that we're talking about fraction, we must be referring to equal parts. So if 8 is the denominator, it would have meant that all these vegetables will have the same size of the vegetable garden, but it is not so. So I'm seeing persons saying 36 and 42 here on YouTube. Shara, could you explain your 42? Novelet, explain your 32. And the ones who are saying 36, can you explain that? Because our denominator cannot be 8. Tell us, why do you say it is 36, 32, or 42? All right, so I'm seeing persons saying to divide them up. And of course, we must divide them. So before we know what size to divide them, we might need to look at the different vegetables and the area that they take up to see what could be that size that we're going to use for all the different, for our denominator. Now, if we look at the lettuce, we realize that the lettuce takes up the smallest portion. And if we continue now by drawing lines to divide them up, so let me go ahead, annotate, and I'm going to use lines to divide these. So, all right, let me use black. So say, for example, now I'm drawing lines, and I'm drawing lines here at lettuce because I want to make sure that we're using that lettuce line. So I'm going to ensure I draw it all the way to the bottom because I want even spaces anyway. So we have one right there. Let's draw another here. Let's draw another here. And if you look right here at sweet peppers, the size that we have going across right here looks like we can divide it into 2 parts, right? Do you observe that? Kalia, do you see where we can divide this part into 2 if we draw a line down?
Yes, Miss.
Right, and it could be the same size as the others. So we're going to line it up with this little part at the yellow here because that is where the tomatoes started. So we're going to have our lines like that. And if you look right here where the hot peppers is, we have right here. So let's draw a line as well to divide right there. And right here where the tomatoes end, we can draw another line to ensure that we have the spaces divided evenly. Now that we have done lines going down, we can draw lines going across as well. So let us draw some lines here to line up with the top of the yellow. What about the lettuce part here? Let's draw lines here again. Let's draw another line here. One to line up with hot peppers. And the last one to separate the cabbage and the callaloo evenly. Right, so now that we have done all of that, we should now be able to see the number of equal parts that our vegetable garden was really cut into. So I'm going to give you a few seconds for you to determine that. All right, so Zara is saying 42. What do you think now, Kalia? What do you think, Jamari?
Miss, I believe the answer is 42.
Miss,
42.
Miss, I believe the answer is 42 also.
All right, Danica.
Mr. Answer is 42.
All right, so I'm seeing a lot of persons over here on YouTube who are really agreeing with that because I believe it's 42 units, square units as well. So we have 42 unit squares here, and I'm going to, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going across. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coming down. So of course I've seen a lot of persons. I'm seeing Michaela, I'm seeing Zara, I'm seeing a lot of persons here who have actually explained. I see Kiana were explaining this to us. Now, if we're referring to the area, we have to say unit squares, or we have to say, so we have 42 unit squares here. If we count them, 42, 1 unit square, 2 unit squares, and so on. And that means the area would be 42 unit squares. All right, so now that we have done that, did you determine the denominator that we're going to use when we're representing the tomatoes? Yes, Kalia?
Yes, Miss, the denominator would be 42 because there are 42 squares in total.
Great. It has to be 42 because fraction, we have to remember that fraction is not just a part of a whole, but it talks about equal parts of a whole. So if we're talking about fifths, we're talking about quarters, remember all of those, we're talking about equal parts. So what would the fraction be of tomatoes in this vegetable garden? Go ahead, Kalia.
5/42, Miss.
All right. Danica, do you agree with Kalia?
Yes, Miss.
All right. All right. So they say 542. I'm seeing a lot of persons here as well. I'm seeing Salicia. I'm seeing AMC Design. I'm seeing Elite. I'm seeing Janelle. I'm seeing many, Nalani. Several persons agreeing with you. Of course, that means the fraction of vegetable garden taken up for the tomatoes is 5 out of 42 unit squares. So let us go to our next question. It says, what fraction of the vegetable garden is cabbage? So we are working on cabbage now. What fraction is cabbage? All right, Jamari, let me hear what you have to say.
Miss, I have the fraction of vegetable for the cabbage is 13 over 42.
All right, so we have 13 out of 42 for our cabbage. All right, let me see. Oh, I see many persons over here agreeing with you, Jamari. Kiana says the same thing. Jordan says the same thing. Andrea, Shanette, Lilith. I'm seeing all of them saying the same thing. So let us check to see if our answer is indeed correct, and it is. So we have 13 parts out of the 42 parts being cabbage, and we could definitely go ahead and we could have counted these squares. All right. So whenever you get your exams and it has anything like this, I want to encourage you to ensure that you divide it into equal parts. And when you have done that and you have equal parts and each part is cut into smaller squares, it is quite easy for you to now determine what fraction is the cabbage or whatever vegetable you have. And if it is that you end up with a number that you can simplify to get a smaller fraction, which would have been an equivalent fraction, you can go right ahead and do that. Let us go to our third question here. And it reads, what fraction of the vegetable garden is carrots and sweet peppers? Yes, Jamari?
Miss, I got 6 over 20, 22, 21.
All right. Okay, let's hear from who else has their hands raised? Is that Danica?
Miss, that's Kalea.
All right, Kaleo. Remember, when you raise your hands and you have answered, you take your hands back down so I know when you have raised your hand. So Kaleo, go ahead.
Miss, I'll say 12 over 42.
All right, so 12. All right, and I see a lot of persons here agreeing with you, I see a lot of persons saying 12 out of 42. I'm seeing 7, though I'm seeing a lot of things. Can you explain, Kalia, how you got your answer? Hold on a little. Let me hear from Danica first.
Miss,
I didn't hear that. Danica?
Yes, Miss.
What did you say?
Miss, I got 12 over 42.
All right. Can you tell us how you got that?
Miss, I counted the amount of...
All right. You're a little low.
Miss,
All right. Go ahead, Jamari.
I was going to say how I got my answer. I got my answer because what 2 can go into 12 and 42.
All
So
right. But we have not, hold on a little. We didn't start with 12 nor 42. So you need to explain from the top. So how did you get 12 out of 42 in the first place?
okay, so Miss, it says that there are sweet peppers they want and carrots. So I count up the sweet peppers and the carrots, then I add them and I put them over 42 because 42 is the total and the total must always be at the bottom. And then I reduce 12 and 42 by 2 and that's how I got my answer.
Okay, so what did you use to divide into the 12 you say?
Miss, I use 2.
You use 2. So 2 into 12 goes 6. And what it used to do, and you divide that into the denominator as well.
Yes, miss.
All right. So I see plenty of persons. I'm seeing Chase who did the same thing. I'm seeing a lot of persons here who have done the same thing. So I hope that is what Danica was about to say, because I wasn't hearing her clearly at some point. So definitely, guys, your answer is correct. And remember, when you have a number like this, especially if it's an even number at top and an even number at the bottom, you can be sure that it can be simplified. Once you have an even number up top and one at the bottom, it most definitely can be simplified. We can reduce it to its lowest term. And that is what Jamari did. So what he said he did, he divided each. Oh, so what he got, he could have gotten as a simpler fraction. And I'm seeing Ashana Fi saying that we can still simplify the 12 out of 42. Great, great, Ashana. So I see where persons are saying we could have still simplified that 12 out of 42. And indeed we did that. So we simplified it by using 6. So even though we simplified it with 2, we could have used 6, which is the highest common factor. And we say 6 into 12 goes 2 times. 6 into 42 goes 7 times. And so the simplest fraction that we can get is 2/7. Do you see that, Jamari? Do you see where you could have broken down what you have? Your 6 out of what, 21, some more. You could have divided your 6 by 2, by 3 to get 2 for your numerator, and your 21 by 3 to get 7 for your denominator.
Yes, miss.
Awesome. Great job, guys. Great job. So that means then we have 2/7 of the vegetable garden representing carrots and sweet peppers. For those of you who didn't get this yet, go ahead, make your correction. And for those who did not simplify to its lowest term and you left it at 6, what was it? 621, right? And you left it at that, you can go ahead and you can do some more simplifying. Great job, guys. All right, so let us move on to our next question. So the next question says, what combination of vegetables take up 1142 of the vegetable garden? What combination of vegetables take up 11 out of 42 of the vegetable garden? Yes, Damel?
Miss, it was a mistake. Sometimes the things go
All
off
right.
by themselves.
All right, so go ahead and do your working.
Okay, miss.
I see Nalani Pidgeot saying tomatoes and callaloo. I'm seeing Andrew Campbell saying carrots and cucumber. I'm seeing some, all right. So we're looking for 11, okay. Who are the persons with their hands raised and wish to speak now?
Miss, may I go?
All right, go ahead.
Miss, my answer is callaloo and tomatoes.
Callaloo and tomatoes. So we say 11 out of the 42. So let us go to callaloo. Callaloo has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And tomatoes has, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Definitely. So callaloo and tomatoes is a correct combination. Let me hear from someone else who has a different combination. Because I think we most likely we can get different combinations, right?
Yes,
All
miss.
right. All right. Let me hear what you have. Anyone else with a different answer? Yes, Jamari.
Miss, cucumber, lettuce, and carrots.
Cucumber, lettuce, and carrots. So carrots has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cucumber 8, 9, 10, and in lettuce 11. Awesome. So we have lettuce, cucumber, and carrots as a correct response as well. I'm seeing persons saying callaloo and sweet peppers. So callaloo has 5 out of 42 plus, no, 6 out of 42 plus 5 out of 42 for peppers. So 6, 42 and 5, 42 give us 11, 42. So awesome. Great job. Damel, let me hear from you.
Cucumber, lettuce, tomatoes, and hot peppers, miss.
Wow. Cucumber, lettuce, tomatoes, hot peppers. So let's go. Hot peppers, 2 out of 42, and tomatoes as 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 7 out of 42. Lettuce, 8 out of 42. Cucumber, 9, 10, 11 out of 42. Awesome. So we have cucumber, lettuce, tomatoes, and hot peppers. All right. So I see carrot and sweet peppers. That's what I saw. Carrot and sweet peppers. So carrot is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sweet peppers, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is 12 out of 42 and not 11. All right, so those are definitely some combinations that we can have. So we have hot peppers, tomatoes, lettuce, and cucumber. Carrot, lettuce, and cucumber. We have callaloo and sweet peppers. We have callaloo and tomatoes. We have sweet peppers, tomatoes, and lettuce. And of course, most likely you can come up with some other combination. So remember, go ahead and you can make your correction or you can add other correct answers. All right, so great job. I'm really seeing a lot of persons with different combinations here on YouTube. All right, so let us move to the next question. It says, what combination of vegetables take up 1/6 of the vegetable garden? So go ahead and tell me what combinations take up 1/6 of the vegetable garden. Okay, so I'm seeing lettuce and callaloo. Let us try if lettuce and callaloo will take up 1/6. I'm seeing tomatoes and lettuce. And I hope we're responding to the 1/6 here because we just did some, so I'm not sure which ones we're responding to. Jamari, go ahead. Let me hear from you.
Miss, sweet pepper and lettuce.
Sweet pepper and lettuce. All right, so sweet pepper and lettuce give us a total of what? Sweet pepper is 5, lettuce is 1, so it is 6 out of 42.
Wait, Miss, wrong.
All
Miss,
right.
tomato and hot peppers.
Tomato and hot peppers, that would give us what out of 42?
7.
7 out of 42. All right, let us check to see if this will give us 1/6. So let's go, let's simplify this. 7 into itself goes
1 time.
And the 7 into 42 goes
6 times.
6 times. So we have a correct answer here. So a correct response is tomatoes and hot peppers. All right, guys. So we have tomatoes and hot peppers for a correct response. All right, let me hear someone else.
Miss, can I go?
Hold on. So one person take one. Go ahead, yes.
Callaloo and lettuce.
All right, let us try callaloo and lettuce. So callaloo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and lettuce is 7. So it will give us 7 out of 42. And when reduced, we get 1/6. So awesome. Another correct answer is callaloo and lettuce. Great job, guys. And I see you guys there on YouTube saying you're callaloo and lettuce, a lot of you, and you are correct. So Shantoin, you're saying cucumber, carrot, and lettuce. Let us try that. So cucumber, say, is 1, 2, 3. Carrots is, so 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so carrots and cucumber is 10, and lettuce is 12. So let us try if that will work. So we have 12 here out of 42. Let's see if this will work. What is the highest common factor that we can use to simplify this? Because we want to try to see if this will work. What can we divide into these two?
2.
We can use 2. What else can we use? Because we want to find out the highest one. What else can we use?
Miss, we can
6.
We can use 6. All right, so 6 looks like it could be the highest because we're not going to use 12. 7. If you divide 7 into 12, would it leave a remainder?
Yes, miss.
So we can't use 7. All right, so let us go ahead and try to use 6. So we say 6 into 12 goes how many times?
2 times.
2 times. And 6 into 42 goes?
7 times.
7 times. And so this cannot be a correct answer. So one that cannot be correct is lettuce, cucumber, and carrots. That cannot be correct. All right, so let us hear from Damel.
Yes, miss, carrots, because carrots are 7.
So carrots alone, but we say combinations, remember?
Okay, miss.
Right, so of course, carrots would take up 1/6 of the vegetable garden, but we are using combinations of vegetables.
Tomatoes and hot pepper, miss.
Tomatoes and hot peppers would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So that would be 7 out of 42. When simplified, will give us 1/6. Awesome, guys. So thank you so much. Let us look at some of our correct responses to see if we have covered them all. So sweet peppers and hot peppers give us 1/6. So sweet peppers has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hot peppers has 1, 2, which will be 7 out of 42, and when reduced, we get 1/6. So sweet peppers and hot peppers is the correct response, as well as tomatoes and hot peppers, and we have tried that as well. And we have callaloo and lettuce. Great job, guys. All right, let us move on to our next question. It is, what 4 vegetables take up a half of the vegetable garden? What 4 vegetables take up a half of the vegetable garden?
Miss, you removed the grid.
Yes, miss.
I did, and that was accidental, but now I will have to do it all over again. So I hope that you were paying attention enough so that you are able to do your counting. All right, so I hope you would have made even a little note in your book already about what the grid this has, so you are able to now figure this out. First, we must think of, though, what are the different equivalent fractions of a half to a half that we can get from this garden. So we must think about that. What's an equivalent fraction that we can use with the denominator being 42 that we should be thinking of when we're thinking of those 4 vegetables?
Miss, can you repeat your question, please?
What is an equivalent fraction to a half, with the denominator being 42, because we know that we have 42 square units here? What equivalent fraction could we use to represent a half?
21 over 42.
21 out of 42, definitely. So we can look for that. So when we are checking up to find a half, it must also be equivalent to 21 out of 42, as well as it will be to a half. All right, thank you, Fayan Morgan. So Fayan said 21 out of 42 as well. Now, Nadine Morrison, you only have 21, which is a whole number. Zara, I'm seeing with the same thing. Remember that if we're talking about a fraction, it cannot be a whole number. All right, it cannot be a whole number. So what we would need to do first to figure out that equivalent fraction is, we would, let me go ahead and I'll annotate a little. So we have a half here, and we know that this denominator must be 42.
Miss, can you draw back the grid, please? I didn't make a note of what each vegetable had.
All right, so because you know that you will have to draw your grid if you'd have gotten this on a paper, you can go ahead and you can try and draw your own grid. So at least you would be learning as well how you can make equivalent, or you can make equal parts in this whole. So you go ahead and in your book, you go ahead and you draw your grid. All right. So in the meantime, while you draw your grid, I'm going to be exploring this with a few persons, a few students who have not seen where half is equal to 21 over 42. So we know that 42 would be our denominator because we have 42 equal parts. But how do we get its numerator? What we first need to do is we need to have this 42. That means we're going to divide this 42 by 2. And whatever answer we'll get, we have that for our numerator. Because really and truly, you know, to make equivalent fractions for numbers, we can divide and we can multiply. And yes, Rebecca, and when you're making equivalent fractions, you need to find a number that when you multiply by this denominator and you write it down, you multiply the same number by the numerator as well and you write it down. That would give you an equivalent fraction. So say, for example, we used 21 to multiply it by 2 here because we want 42 in this case. So we know that 21 would have to be that number that when we multiply by 2, we get 42. And since we know that, we will use that same 21 now to multiply by the numerator, which is 1, to get 21. And that is just one way of figuring this out. Because if we are now planning to make more equivalent fractions for a half, we could just find a random whole number. So we could find 9, and we could say 9 multiplied by 2, and that would be 18, which would represent our denominator. And the same 9 that we have thought about, we multiply it by the numerator, which is 1, and we would have gotten 9 for our numerator. And this again would be creating another equivalent fraction for a half. But in this case, we're only working with 21 out of 42. I was just showing you further how we can create more equivalent fractions. All right, so let's go and answer this question. What for vegetables will take up half of the vegetable garden? All right, so I'm seeing a lot of response here. I'm seeing cabbage, carrot, and lettuce. But remember it said 4 vegetables. I'm seeing Sasha saying callaloo, carrot, sweet pepper, and cucumber. That is 4. Let me see if we have any other response. I see Zara saying cabbage, hot pepper, lettuce, and sweet pepper. Kalia, do you have an answer?
Yes, miss.
All right, let's hear your answer.
Sweet pepper. I have sweet peppers, cabbage, callaloo, and carrots.
All right, Jamari, do you have an answer?
Yes, miss, I do.
Let's hear yours.
So, miss, the vegetables I thought of was sweet peppers, lettuce, cabbage, and hot peppers.
All right, thank you. Danica, do you have a combination of 4 vegetables?
Miss, I'm still working on it.
All right, no problem. Damel, do you have a combination?
Not as yet, miss.
All right, no problem with that, because our friends here on YouTube are still working on theirs, because I'm seeing responses coming in. All right. So what we're going to do here is we are going to look at some combinations that really exist here, because there's not many combinations, but the combinations that exist, I will be showing them to you. So we have, and you can go ahead and check yours to see if yours is correct. Remember, it's 4 vegetables we're talking about. And if you did not have these combinations, you can also add them to the list that you have. So we have callaloo, carrots, sweet peppers, and cucumber. We have callaloo, carrots, tomatoes, and cucumber. We have cabbage, hot peppers, tomatoes, and lettuce. And we have cabbage, hot peppers, sweet peppers, and lettuce. So those are the 4 vegetables that will take up half of the garden. All right, so let us move on to another question. Now, after the reaping of the tomatoes, callaloo, and lettuce, your teacher is suggesting that you plant some peas in those spots. Now, if it is that you're going to plant some peas in the spot that the lettuce had, the callaloo had, and the tomatoes had, what fraction of the garden would now be used for the peas? And when you're giving me your answer, I would like for you to send a little explanation as to what you did. Welcome, students who just joined. You would have missed out a portion of what we are doing. But what you can do is at the end of this, you can go back and you can watch the video, because all of what we discussed would be there. So at the end of this link or this video would still be available to you. All right, so I'm seeing Nalani Pigot saying 12 out of 42. I'm seeing Mark Ender saying the same thing. I am seeing Dresden saying 9 out of 42. I'm seeing several persons saying that. All right, go ahead, Jamari.
Miss, I forgot to put my hand down. Still
All right.
thinking.
Okay, Kalia, go ahead.
Miss, I'm seeing 12 out of 42.
Can you explain why?
Yes, miss. Miss, the reason why I said 12 out of 42. Miss, can I annotate?
Of course you can.
So, Miss, the reason why I say 12 out of 42 is because lettuce has 5 right here. Yes. So, because it stops at cucumber, sweet peppers, and lettuce, you would divide them like this, and then this is also where you start. So, Miss, tomatoes has 5, and then and then you would add the callaloo, and the callaloo also, and then callaloo has 6. Callaloo has 6 right here. So that would give you the 11, and then also because it says it includes lettuce, so you just add the lettuce right here, and then you get 12 in total.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Kalia. Do you agree with her, Damel?
Yes, Miss.
Do you agree with her, Danica?
Yes, Miss.
What about you, Jamari? Do you agree with her? Okay, not hearing anything.
Yes, Miss. I agree.
All right, awesome. So I'm seeing a lot of persons here agreeing with you as well. But can we, if we have, what did we say, 12 out of 42 will be used for the peas? Is that in its simplest form?
No,
No,
Miss.
Miss.
So what would the simplest form be?
2 sevens.
2 sevens.
All right, 2 sevens. So I see Dresden, I see Ashana Fi. I'm seeing plenty of persons here, Nalani. I'm seeing a lot of persons here. Fayon Morgan telling us that yes, the fraction of the garden to be used for peas would be indeed, after we simplify, 2 sevens. So 2 sevens will be used for peas. Great job, guys. Great job. I'm really, really proud of you guys. So, all right, so someone is asking if the grid can come back. Of course it can, but I want to charge you now to go ahead and draw your own grid on your garden. All right, so great job, guys. 2 sevens of the garden will be used for peas. Let us go to another question. It says each packet of seeds costs $195. And it takes a quarter packet to plant 3 square units of vegetables. So the first question here is how many packets of sweet pepper seeds are needed? That is what you should be working on now. All right, guys. So let us go to this part. How many packets of sweet pepper seeds are needed? All right, I'm seeing a lot of persons saying 2. All right, I'm seeing some hands raised here. All right, open your mic. I'm not sure who raised their hands. One at a time and tell me what your answer is. I'm seeing a lot of persons here on YouTube saying 2. So guys, remember, you want to respond to say 2 packets if that's what you're answering to. All right, okay, open your mic and explain. The first person to raise their hand. Kalia, Jamari, Danica, Damel, which one of you raised your hand first? Open your mics and
Next, I
explain.
think it was
Miss,
Jamari.
All right, go ahead, Jamari.
Miss, I would have said 5 packs of sweet pepper seed were needed.
Can you explain why you say 5 packets?
Well, Miss, can I annotate on the board so I can also show you?
You may.
Thank you. So It was like this, you had it. It was like that. So, and there's 5 parts to it. And there's 5 parts on it. So in each box, I would have, say, one whole part. This one whole part, that's where one packet of sweet pepper seeds would be. Then this is the second one, and then the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth one.
All right, thank you. Who's the second person that raised their hand? Who's the second person that raised their hand? And remember to keep your mics closed. All right, Kalia, did you raise your hand?
No, miss.
Damel, did you raise your hand?
Yes, miss. So
Do you agree? Put it back, Jamari. Put back your drawings. Just click on undo and they will come back. Yeah, continue to click undo until they're all back. All right, so Damel, in the meantime, do you agree with Jamari?
yes, miss. I agree. I have a different answer actually. I agree with Jamari's one, but for my answer, I have 2.
That means you did not agree then, because if you agreed with him, he said 5 and you said 2. So how would you agree with him if you believe it's 2?
It's a mixed fraction. 2 1/3, miss, because it said it would take 1/3 to plant a quarter of 1/3 seeds. How many seeds? So it would take 1/3 of seeds to plant a quarter, miss. So because 1/3 you can get 1 pack of seeds, and the remainder are 2. That's 2, miss. That's why I said 2 1/3, miss.
All right, so you say 2 packets, not 2. Did you say 2 1/3?
Yes, miss.
Well, I think I will ask for you. It's a mix. Oh, 2 1/3. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Is there anybody else who would like to share? All right, so I'm going to do a little explanation here because it first said that it takes a quarter packet to plant 3 square units of vegetable. So with what I'm seeing on my board here so far, let me go ahead and annotate as well. I am seeing where if it's 3 square units and that takes a quarter, that means 1, 2, 3 square units takes 1/4 of the packet. So, or let me backtrack. If it is that it takes a quarter packet to plant 3 square units, it means that these 3 square units here would now take a quarter. And then we have 3/4 left in that packet. And if we have 3/4 left in that packet, it means that we can plant 1 more square unit. We can plant some more square units with another quarter. So say now we take So say now we have the 3/4 and we need to plant get 3 more square units that we're going to use to plant. So we have 1, 2, but I mean, we don't have any more plot that we need to plant on. And so this would not really take a full quarter. And then it simply means now then that we only need 1 packet of sweet pepper here because 1 packet can plant right here. Quarter of the packet can plant here. Another quarter could plant here, here, and some will leave out of that quarter. And we would have 2 quarters left that we don't need to use. So it simply means that we're going to only need basically less than a packet. And so we only need to buy 1 packet of what's this, sweet pepper seeds. Tell me if we're understanding this part. Are we understanding that we really would need less than a packet to plant here? And so it means that we need to only buy 1 packet of seed for this?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
Miss.
All right. All right, great. All right, so let us look at another question. I'm seeing Nalani Pijot saying half of the packet will be needed. So if we need half of the packet, we need to only buy 1 pack because, well, you say half of the packet, but we kind of want to say 1 pack simply because we can't buy half packet of seeds. All right, so let us go to another one. So how many packets of carrot seeds are needed here? So go ahead and calculate how many packets of seeds are needed to plant the carrots. And remember that we can't really be buying half of a packet, and we can't buy a quarter of a packet, and therefore we have to buy a sealed packet. So let's hear your reasoning with this one. All right, I'm seeing Dresden Coke saying 1 packet. I'm seeing Chase saying 2 packets. Can you tell us why you say 1 packet or 2 packets? All right, I'm seeing 2 hands raised here. First person to raise their hand, please open your mic and explain, Jamari.
Miss, can you repeat what you said?
I saw you raised your hand. I was saying that you could answer and also explain.
Okay, so I would say that I would need 7 packs of seeds, 7 packs of carrot seeds for the carrot part of the vegetable garden.
All right,
Yes.
so listen to this. I'm going to ask you all a question. At first, remember it. So we say that we need a quarter. It takes a quarter packet to plant. Please close your mic. It takes a quarter packet to plant 3 square units of vegetables. Please close your mic. All right, so if it is that it takes a quarter packet, it means a whole packet can plant how many? How many square units?
Yes, 4.
So you're saying that a whole packet can plant for what? Square units of vegetables?
No, Miss. Miss, a whole packet could plant. Miss, could a whole packet plant 12 square units?
Definitely. Because if quarter plants 3, it means half will plant 6. It means 3 quarters will plant 9. And it means a whole packet will plant 12. Awesome. So definitely we would need a whole packet can plant 12 square units of vegetables. And with that, what we can do here, we know for carrots, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 square units. So, I mean, we don't need any more than, let me see, we don't need any more than 1 pack, right? Look at it and tell me. We don't need any more than 1 pack because we're going to use a quarter, annotate. We're going to use a quarter to plant here, another quarter to plant here, and we don't even need a whole quarter to plant this little part here. So we still don't have a whole packet planting carrots with. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of persons saying 7. All right, there's an explanation, so I'll work with this explanation. So it says 1 packet because the first 3 squares represents 1 quarter of the packet and there are 4 squares left over. So the other next 3 would represent 1 more quarter of the packet. And let me see if he continued down here. All right, so he didn't continue to say anything more. All right, but he's saying that It is 1 packet. Nalani Pijot saying it's 1 packet. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of persons now coming up with 1 packet. All right, so Samantha Mullins says it will take 3/4 of a packet. Awesome, it will take 3/4 or even less than 3/4 of a packet. And that means we only need to buy, say, 1 packet of seed, carrot seeds here. Tell me if we all understand here.
Yes, Miss.
All right.
I understand.
All right, great. So, all right, clear drawings. Let us go now to our next question. So the class fund has a total of $2,900. Is this enough to buy all the seeds? So while you work on this, please ensure you come with an explanation as well.
Yes.
Yes, Jamari?
Which part should we use to figure out the answer?
All right, so if it says that the class fund has a total of $2,900, and if I want to know if it's enough to buy all the seeds. Now, what we would have done before is we would have checked up to see how many packets are needed to plant carrots, how many packets are needed to plant sweet peppers. So if you're able to now check up how many packets are needed to plant lettuce, cucumber, tomatoes, hot pepper, cabbage, and callaloo. Now you need to now use that information to figure out if $2,900 would be enough to buy seeds for all the vegetables in this garden. Are you understanding that?
Yes, Miss, I am. I was just trying to ask which section I was supposed to work out.
I'm not understanding that. Which section of where? The garden?
Yes, Miss.
It says all the seeds. So it would mean all the vegetable seeds. Okay?
Yes, Miss.
All right. All right. So remember now that when you're seeing, we're actually at I think this is the last question. So I want to see some explanation here in the chat. I don't just want to see an answer. I want to see yes and why, no and why. That is what I want to see. So if you have calculations you want to share with us as well, please go ahead and share that with us. And remember that a performance task it has multiple parts to it. So even though we were finding out the different fractions that represent each part of the garden, I mean, when you're planting things, we must be thinking about going to buy the seeds too. There are many other things that we can think about when we're thinking of a vegetable garden, but these are just 2 aspects that we're going to explore this afternoon. All right, so go ahead. If you say yes, tell us why. If you say no, tell us why. And I see a lot of persons saying yes. So explain and tell us why. Yes, Kalia?
Miss, my answer is yes, they will have enough money to buy all the seeds.
Can you explain why?
Yes, Miss. Miss, can I annotate, please?
Yes, you may.
The reason why I chose yes is the reason why my answer is yes is because in total there are 42 squares.
All right.
And also in total there are eight different vegetables, sets
All
of
right.
vegetables. So what I did was we also found out recently that 1 packet can cover 12 square units. So what I did was I So what I did was I divided 42 by 12 to see how much packets we would need. And then after I've divided 42 by 12, let's tell you the answer that I got, right? Next, so after I divided 42 by 12, I got 3.5. Then I multiplied 3.5 by the $195 to figure out how much money we would need to spend on the packets. After that, after multiplying the $195 by 3.5, I got 682.5. So therefore, they would have enough money to buy all of the packets.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that. So we're not confirming or we're not confirming if you're correct as yet. We want to go a little bit further in it, but thank you for your very detailed explanation here. I want to see now if we have anyone here agreeing with you on YouTube. Who's the other person who raised their hands? Would you like to explain what you're saying?
My answer is yes. Yes, they will have enough money, miss. I did the same thing as he
Kaleo?
Yes, miss. I did the same thing.
Miss, sorry to interrupt, but I'm not seeing. Okay, I wasn't seeing your screen a while ago, and I'm asking if you could repeat what you were saying because what the class was saying because I disconnected.
All right. So we are just about to work this out though. So Kalia made a very detailed explanation. So what we're going to do, and she says they would spend 600, I think something. So but we're going to work this out now and you would be able to see that. All right. But if you definitely to catch that part of the explanation, remember you can always go back to the video on YouTube and watch that part that Kalia was explaining. But she said a whole lot. All right. So what I want us to do here, a lot of persons are saying yes, they agree. And so on, I'm seeing a lot of persons showing the calculations. So let me look at this in a different way. Because remember now, in one packet, we don't have a multiple kind of seeds coming in it. We have only one kind of seed coming in each packet. So let us look at that and think about that. It's quite important that you listen now. So if we decided that for sweet peppers, we need, what did we say? How many packets we need here? We need one packet for sweet pepper. We need one packet for sweet pepper. Let me annotate. All right, so for sweet pepper, we say we need one packet, right? So for cucumber, we're going to need only one packet as well because it's 3 square units, so it will take quarter. We can't buy a quarter, so we'll need another here, another packet. For lettuce, this will take less than a quarter, so we need a packet here. And remember, these are different vegetables. So we can't get a lot of different vegetables in the same packet. So we have to think about it like this. We have 8 vegetables to buy. Seeds for vegetables to buy. So let us go to carrots now. For carrots, we say we needed how many? So this is 1 quarter, 2. So we need one packet for carrots as well. For tomatoes, we have 5 square units, and therefore, for 3 of the square units, we take a quarter. We take another quarter to do the other 2 square units. So we only need one packet for tomatoes as well. Are we following so far?
Yes, miss.
All right. Are you agreeing with me so far?
Yes, miss.
All right, so let's look at the callaloo as well. So we need like half of a packet for the callaloo because we have 3 square unit, which is a quarter, another 3 square unit, which is another quarter. So this would mean we need 1 packet for callaloo as well. For hot pepper, you see that this will take less than a quarter. So we need 1 packet for hot peppers. Let's look at cabbage. Cabbage is quite big, so I'm just going to draw some lines here for cabbage. All right, so hold on, I'm going to draw some lines here for cabbage because cabbage is a big spot. So let us draw some lines so we're able to see and calculate for this one. All right. Ooh. And I hope you're all following me in the meantime, especially your friends there on YouTube. All right. So we're dividing our cabbage into equal parts like we have been doing. All right, so this keeps stopping. So let me. Oopsies again. All right, baby. All right, so don't watch my jagged lines. All right, so here we have how many square units taking up cabbage? How many square units cabbage takes up on the farm, on the garden, in fact?
Miss, cabbage takes up 13 square units.
Takes up 13 square units. And what do we know about 1 packet of seed? It can cover how many square units?
12.
Right, 12 square units. So if 1 packet of seed covers 12 square units, let me find this and use this to draw. So if 1 packet covers 12, which is right here, this is 1 packet, right? So this is 12. Am I correct?
Yes, Miss.
Right, and that takes up 1 packet, but we have 1 more square unit here. So what does that mean? What does that mean? If 1
Miss,
packet, yes?
Miss, we're going to have 2 packets of seeds for cabbage.
Definitely. So we need 2 packets of seed for cabbage. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to write our 2 packets here. So we need 2 packets for cabbage. Great. So in all, how many packets of seed do we need?
Miss, we're going to need 8 packets of seeds.
Are we sure? I see 1 for sweet pepper, 1 for lettuce, 1 for cucumber, 1 for carrot, 1 for tomatoes, 1 for hot pepper, 1 for callaloo, and 2 for cabbage. Are we sure we only need 8?
No, Miss. Miss, we're going to need 9.
9,
Going
Miss.
to need 9. So we need 9 packets of seeds, and each packet costs $195. So how much money we're going to spend on seeds in all here?
Miss, 1,755.
Wow, let me see if other persons are agreeing with that. Remember now, we can't just say 1,755 because we're talking about money. All right?
$1,755.
Okay, let me hear what the others are saying. Let me hear from the others. I see Sanjin saying 1,755, but she's not telling me if she's talking about money or she's talking about distance. I'm seeing Jermaine. I'm not seeing persons using up their units. What does 1,755 mean? All right, Nalani says $1,755. But remember now, Nalani, you can use your dollar sign. Great, Jadon. I'm seeing Jadon with the same thing. RTJ, Dresden, Stacyan, and I'm seeing a lot of persons with the same thing. So indeed, we would need $1,755. Before I go though, I see some persons writing their money like this. I see they're writing $1,755, and I'm going to ask Kalia to explain and to tell us which one of these is correct, and to explain how we write our money. So hold on, Kali, I'm just writing the rest here. I want you to go ahead and explain which one of these representation of the money is correct. How do we write our money? Go ahead, Kalia.
The second representation or the second image would be correct because our dollar sign is supposed to go in front of the amount of money that we have, not after.
All right, sorry about that. So I was explaining that, yes, Kalia, you are so correct, because whenever we're writing our money, we don't put our dollar sign after the value. We write our dollar sign in front of the value. And so this one would be correct, and this one would not be correctly represented. So for those of us who are writing our dollar sign after the value, that is not how we write our money. We put our dollar sign first. All right, guys. So we are at the end of the session. In fact, let me go ahead and clear what we have here. All right, so we're at the end of the session. I hope, all right, so our answer is there. Yes, $2,900 is enough. All right, oh no. Oh yes. All right, so I need to clear this. So we're at the end of the session. I hope we had a good practice. I hope that we all learned something as well, even a little bit. So I want to encourage you to keep practicing and take care. And of course, you would have known now that our exams are postponed until next term, but it does not prevent us from keep practicing. We need to still practice so that we would be very prepared for that time. All right, and remember now, I want you to keep safe, wear your masks, and keep sanitized. All right, so end of the session. Bye-bye.